Jai Shri Ganesh, Jai Shri Ram, Om Sai Ram. Beginning with the introduction first, the original text of Shri Ram Vijay is composed by Shridhar Swamiji. That is indeed very nice and informative, but that is very long poem. So for the convenience of the listeners and readers, I, Rinki Das, am making the small effort to present this book in the form of brief chapters. It is believed that the person who takes a resolution and finishes it within 14 days by reading or listening to it, their wishes gets fulfilled. In Shri Sai Satcharitra also it's mentioned about this book. It is basically complete Ramayan in which Balkand, Ayodhya Kand, Aranyakand, Kishkindha Kand, Sundarkand, Yudh Kand and Uttarkand, all of them are included. It is my request that along with you let your children also listen to it so that they also get the knowledge of this invaluable book. As we know, in this Kali Yuga, we can attain merits just by listening, reading holy books or chanting the name of the God. So, with the intent that the essence of this divine book should reach maximum souls, with blessings of Shri Ram and my beloved Shri Sainath, I am presenting it. My apologies for any mistake in narrating this. Before going ahead with it, it is necessary to inform you about Shridhar Swami, the author of this great book. Ramdas died in 1681 at the age of 73. 2 years before his death, the most universally popular of all Maratha poets was Shridhar Swamiji, who was born in the village of Nazare, near the holy land of Pandharpur. He was the son of pious Brahmin Deshastha. He was a very popular poet amongst Maratha. Just as Moropant was for Brahmin and Tukaram for Kunbi, in the same way, if any name was taken after these great poets, it was Shridhar Swamiji. Going to any city or village in the Deccan or Konkan, most of the holy Maratha families are found reciting the book of him. Shridharji says that he wrote this poem in simple language for the benefit of the weaker sections of the people who were uneducated and ignorant of Sanskrit. During his time, only Pandits were considered to be so-called wise and only they had the right to read and learn mythology as they had the knowledge of Sanskrit. But when Shridhar Swamiji gave these great stories in Marathi to the people, which is Ramayana and Mahabharata, then everyone was very happy. Monopoly of the Pandits was vanished and everyone was entitled to know those great books. This, his most popular poem, Shri Ram Vijay, Pandits should not ignore this poem because it is in Prakrit language. It is written in such a simple language which can be understood by the common people. Whether the text is in Marathi or Sanskrit, it doesn't matter, but the subject and meaning should be the same. That is why, in order to quench the spiritual thirst of the weaker sections and to lead them on the path of salvation, the Almighty Lord has ordered him to compose in Prakrit language. The old language is certainly revered, but it is so difficult that only a Sanskrit scholar can understand it well. And if ordinary man cannot understand this, how will they be saved? That's why he composed it. Shridharji has composed Triumph of Rama and Triumph of Pandavas in the year 1712 and The Wonders of Shiva in 1719. He died in the year 1728 at the age of 60. This Ram Vijay Granth is an adaptation of the Ramayan story composed with 9,147 verses. The poet drew his material from other Ramayan texts like Valmiki Ramayan, Adbhut Ramayan, Ramcharitmanas, Adhyatma Ramayan, Bhavartha Ramayan, this type of 19 Granths, and in collaboration with some other sources also. Now let's move on to our first chapter, Shri Ram Vijay, chapter 1. In this first chapter, we will know about the birth of Ravan, how he became Lankapati, how all gods became his prisoners, Meghnad got the name Indrajit, and how Shiva destroyed the pride of Ravan. Before starting with this, Shridhar Swamiji bows down to Shri Ganesh, Mata Saraswati, his gurus, and Sita Ramchandra. Later, bows down to Tridev, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Then all the gods, goddesses, pandits, and pray them to help and bless him to make this task successful. Now let's see how Ravan was born and how did he got Lanka after fighting with Kuber. Pulastya, son of Brahmadev, was married to Havirbu and they both had a son named Vaishrava. Vaishrava was married to Ilavida, who was a Devavardhini. She was daughter of Bhardwaj Rishi. Both Vaishrava and Ilavida had a son named Kuber. Brahmadev made Lanka and gave it to Kuber. When Kuber was ruling there, a demon named Sumali came from the Patal in the form of a Brahmin. The demon said to himself, Lanka is my country and this person has no right to rule here. Thinking this, he hatched a conspiracy. He sent a second marriage proposal to Kuber's father Vaishrava with his daughter Kaikasi. He planned that Vaishrava and Kaikasi would produce sons and they would snatch away Lanka by driving away Kuber from there. Kaikasi gave birth to 3 demon sons and a demoness daughter from Vaishrava, whose names were Ravan, Kumbhakarn and Vibhishan, and a daughter named Shurpanakha. Ravan and his brothers went to Gokarn for severe penance. Ravan pleased Shiva, Kumbhakarn pleased Brahmadev and Vibhishan pleased Vishnu. With their penance, gods were pleased. Ravana then asked for his boon to Shiva that, O God, give me the boon that I should put all the gods like Indra and etc. in the prison and they should obey my orders. I should be endowed with wealth, progeny, knowledge and become proficient in all the arts. After this, Kumbhakarn wanted to ask for a boon. All the gods were very afraid that Ravana had already got his boon. Now Kumbhakarn will ask to devour heaven and earth. That's why all the gods started praying to Saraswati Devi and requested her to be on the tip of his tongue and confuse that evil man. Then when Kumbhakarn was about to ask for a boon, Saraswati ji sat on his tongue. That is why instead of Indrasan, Kumbhakarn asked for Nidrasan. That means he asked for sleep. Brahmadev blessed him with sleep by saying that he would wake up every 6 months to eat his meals and indulge in all other luxuries. Then Vibhishan asked for the boon that he should always be devoted to Sri Vishnu. After this, Ravana and Kumbhakarn gathered all the demons, including Khardushan, Trishira, and left to conquer Lanka. Kuber, who was his stepbrother, they went to war against him. He fought very bravely with Kuber but could not defeat Kuber. Ravana then brought a letter from his father Vaishrava and sent it to Kuber. It was written in the letter that he should hand over the Lanka to Ravan. Kuber, after being ordered by his father in the letter, gave Lanka to the demon without any resistance, and he proceeded to heaven through his Viman. Then a demon named Mayasur married his daughter Mandodari to Ravan. Bali's granddaughter Drigjwala was married to Kumbhakarn. A Gandharv Kanya named Sarma was married to Vibhishan. Ravana conquered all the countries and devoured large number of Brahmins and cows. He robbed Kuber's treasure and started torturing all the people. He had 8,000 wives, 1 lakh sons and 1,20,000 grandsons. He had 18 Akshoni. An Akshoni has 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, 1,09,350 foot and 65,610 horses. All the kings became his slaves, and 18,000 demons would stand before the court of his assembly by lighting up camphor lamps. Thus his strength was increasing day by day. Now let us know how Ravan's son Meghnad got the name Indrajit. Once all the mountains went to seek protection from Ravan. Due to the fear of Indradev, Ravan asked all the mountains to become elephants. They accordingly became elephants. Then Ravana appointed them as their servant. Later, along with his eldest son Meghnad, Ravana left for the war with Indra. A fierce battle ensued between the gods and the demons, and Meghnad horribly defeated Indra with his Airavat elephant. And from then on, Meghnad got his name Indrajit. Now let us know how Ravana seized all the gods and made his servant. After the war with Indra, all the gods were seized by Ravan and freed them on one condition, that they will all serve Ravan and do his household chores on the basis of their abilities. All the gods became his slaves. Indra used to bring flowers and garlands for him. Chandradev used to hold the chhatra umbrella for Ravan. Varun Dev used to carry the water running continuously. Surya Dev its gatekeeper. Kuber and Pavan Dev used to do cleaning work in his palace. Lord Agni washed his clothes. Brahmadev became the priest of Ravan. Brihaspati did the work of erudition, and Narada used to entertain by singing. Now we will know how Shiva destroyed the pride of Ravan, and Ravana composed the Shiv Tandav Stotra. Ravan worshipped Shiva with a unique spirit, and he had become a dear devotee to Shiva. By his boon, Ravana had got 10 heads and 20 arms. One day he went to Mount Kailash in his Viman to meet Shiva. Nandi Maharaj, who was guarding the gate of Kailash, stopped Ravan from going inside and said that Mata Parvati and Shiva are talking and spending time with each other, so please don't go inside. Then the arrogant Ravan felt very humiliated and said that I will not stop at the behest of an animal like you and will go inside by force. On this, Nandi Maharaj cursed him that only an animal will destroy your pride. Ravana said in anger that I will uproot this mountain and take it with me to Lanka. As soon as he started lifting the mountain, Shiva immediately pressed the mountain with his feet. Thus his hand remained buried under the mountain for 1,000 of years. He kept on crying and weeping in pain. He kept on praying Shiva to free him. Then he started praising Shiva by Stotram to please him, due to which Shiva was pleased and let him go. Ravana was singing the same stotra which he composed, and we all know it by the name of Shiv Tandav Stotra. So here we have completed our chapter 1. In the next chapter we will know that Ravan, despite being so powerful, how he was badly defeated by Sahasrarjun, Virochan's son Baliraj, and Indra's son Bali. Shri Ramachandrarpanmastu. For watching such videos, kindly subscribe my channel Love for Guru Sai, press the bell icon to get the notifications, and share it with your family and friends.